Hey, what's up, guys? Making it back on here, make another video. I wanted to continue on from where I left off. Last time we had explained why we do the letting go process and why we focus in on the feeling state to resolve, our issues or emotions, whatever it is we're stuck on there. Just a quick recap as to, it's the feeling state that we're always either chasing after or running away from. A quick example is like drugs. A lot of people get addicted to different drugs, and it's not the drug itself that people are chasing after. It's the feeling they got from the high. You feel good, you feel amazing, and it's just that high energetic feeling that people will destroy their entire lives over. They just get so hooked on feeling good. And the thing with drugs is, you may feel good at one point, but then the opposite end, you're starting to feel down and you feel all this negativity. And then when you don't know how to process those emotions and feelings, and you get them confused with what's going on in the outside world, it's very easy to get lost in that trap and just go down that dangerous spiral until, some people lose their lives. Some people have some horrible experiences. And it's all just a feeling. We don't have to run from a negative feeling, and we don't have to chase after a positive feeling, because we can feel good all the time, every day. The option's always there. We just got to remove the blocks to it, and that's why we did the letting go process to begin with. In this video, I wanted to go a little farther and get into the power of the mind and how our thoughts are affecting us on so many different levels, and they affect others as well. A lot of people tend to think that all our thoughts are private and just to us alone. Well, I'm going to tell you, that's not the case. Our thoughts will affect us extremely, and they will affect those around us as well. And I'd like to get into explaining all that as to how that works. Let me start off with a quick example just of the power of the mind. Let me start off on a basic level. Let's say you have the thought, I think I want to go to Disneyland. I think I'm going to take the family to Disneyland. So you have that thought and you start energizing it, and you say, that sounds right. That sounds right to me. Maybe I will. So, that thought alone has the power to get the body moved across the country. You're going to rearrange your schedule. I'm sure you're going to clear some days off. You got to save up some money. Most of us, at least. You've arranged your whole life for maybe, I don't know how long it takes to save it. It could be a couple months, could be a month. But your whole life is going to be affected based off that one thought alone. And that's just the power. That's one example of the power of the mind. If you get a little farther into it, you can say, let's see, how else can this affect you? Let me give you a good example. It's the way we choose to look at life. Right? Say you're sitting here in the room with me, right? And I say, hey, check it out. I got all this money. I don't know what to do with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take $1 million. I'm going to put it in this bag. I'm going to start, you sitting here watching me set, bundle of money after bundle of money in this bag. And then I say, check it out. And I'm going to put this, in the closet here, And this is your money. I'm just going to keep it here for safekeeping, but anytime you need some money, come right over here, go in that closet, grab some money. Anytime you want. This is your money. Just in that process alone, and that person's going to feel amazing. They're going to be thinking, wow, man, I can do all sorts of stuff. The whole outlook on life and their whole feeling is going to change dramatically. Now, has anything actually changed for this person? Has a single thing truly changed for them? No. It's just the idea that they have all this money and they don't have to worry about money anymore because I just said they could have it all. So that's just another example of how powerful the mind is in affecting us. We went from completely happy just from normal to completely happy just based off the way the mind was thinking. I'll give you another example in the opposite direction. Say, you get a letter in the mail that says, hey, you're getting audited. You're getting audited. We found numerous errors on your tax returns, and, we need to look into this further. That alone can send a lot of people into a panic. Might make them angry, and it might bring up all sorts of negative emotions. But has anything physically changed for the person? No. It's just the thought of what could be based off of what what they think is going on in the world around them. So that thought alone is going to severely affect how they feel. And this is what we're focusing on. We want to focus on how, like, the whole goal of this is to avoid suffering on any level and to just be a happy individual. And if that's what you're looking for, then you need to look at the way the mind works and how these thoughts will affect you and those around you. Let me give you another example of how your thoughts can affect somebody else. Now, this one's a little less known for the average person, but I invite anybody to test this out in your own daily lives. Everything I'm telling you here, I'm not expecting you to take my word for it. If you're interested and it sounds right to you, give it a try, put it to test in your real life. Be patient with it and just consistent. And you'll see it proves itself over and over again. But I'm going to tell you that the way you're thinking about somebody is going to affect how they respond to you. So let's say you have a boss, right? You don't like your boss. Your boss, for whatever reason, you don't like how he feels. And you hold a lot of resentment towards him. You think he shouldn't have his job. You think he shouldn't be telling you what to do. You just don't like the guy. So every time you go talk to him, of course you're not going to be like, hey man, I effing hate you, you're a piece of whatever. You just, you say, oh yeah, sure thing, let me get it done, whatever. But in your mind, you're thinking, man, this guy is no good, he's good for nothing, whatever. They're going to respond to you differently. They're not consciously aware of what you're thinking, but they can pick up on it on an unconscious level. And, I'm sure you guys have felt this in your life, being on the opposite end, come across somebody who doesn't like you, and for whatever reason, you just get this feeling like something off about this guy. I don't really like him. There's a weird vibe he's giving off. Something about him I don't like. And it's because you're picking up on his thoughts, the energetic signature of your thoughts. Every single thought creates an energetic signature that is recorded forever in the universe, and it is felt by other, beings on this earth. A scientific proof of this is, if anybody's familiar with Clive Baxter, he invented the lie detector test, and he came up with, what is the name of it? Galvanic skin response. That's how he ended up starting with the lie detector test. But essentially what it is galvanic skin response picks up like how much electrical current or something along those lines is in the skin at any point in time. And so he would hook that up to people and he would measure the electrical currents, and it ended up evolving into the lie detector test. But at one point in time, he did actually hook it up to a plant. He had this, I don't know what kind of plant. He had this big plant. He hooked it up to the plant, and he was registering off the plant. And what he did was, he had it hooked up, and he's science guy, dirty sink. He's got a whatever, different. Doesn't purify his sink all the time. He ends up dumping out some alcohol in the sink, and what it is the alcohol is killing the bacteria, right? So the bacteria, which is, a low level of consciousness, but it is still alive, so they're dying, and they're setting off an energetic signature that they're dying, and they're essentially screaming in pain if they could scream in pain. But the plant picked up on it, and its, galvanic skin response jumped way up. It's, registering the thoughts or the feelings of this bacteria. That's an example. And then he later started testing it out, and he's trying to figure out, what is this thing picking up on? And he was sitting there and he was trying all these different things. And at one point he's sitting in his chair and he thinks to himself, I think I might go in the other room, grab that pack of matches I got there, and I'm going to burn this plant and see if I get a response. Right after he had the thought, the plant jumps up. Galvanic skin response is up there. It was the thought alone. It was the energetic signature of the thought that the plant picked up on. And then, it was experiencing what you would consider fear. Obviously I don't know the exact feeling state plants have, but it's the equivalent of it. And that's just one example scientifically, which you can look up and check yourself, if you don't believe me. But once again, I do recommend everybody to put these techniques in a test in their own daily life to see if they work for you. That's what it's all about. My word is really just words. Until you get that subjective experience yourself, this won't change anything for you. So the mind has a lot of power within itself. Um, this video is probably going to get split into a couple different parts, but let me get one last aspect of the mind that will really affect how we can handle our days. And if we are stuck on some of the letting go processes, this is the next step in overcoming those ones that we just can't seem to get past, and that is through contextualization. The way we hold the subject in our minds will affect how it is experienced. So let me give you an example. Say you loan somebody money, say you loan somebody some money, right, and they haven't paid you back. And it's been a couple months. They're supposed to pay you back the following week. You haven't heard anything from them, and you're just kind of really holding some resentment towards him. Like, man, this bum month, how is he not going to pay me back? I gave him this money out of the kindness of my heart, and he's just going to burn me, doesn't even send me a letter, doesn't say anything, doesn't give me a call or text, anything. So you're just really starting to, get a little angry at this person. You're starting to hold some resentment and negative feelings. And it's basically because you believe he was supposed to pay you back. He should have paid you back, and he didn't. So he did something that he wasn't supposed to do, and that's the way you're holding it in your mind. Now, if you can't seem to just let go of that based off the feelings alone, then it's because you're holding the thought in mind that life shouldn't be like this. He should have paid me back. Life didn't go as it was supposed to. You're holding a position on the subject. You're holding a positionality. You're saying he was supposed to do this, but because he didn't, now I don't have the money, and now this and that and this and that, whatever, however you want to look at it, at the end of the day, you're unhappy about it, and it's causing a level of suffering because you're not happy there. But now say we just try to recontextualize it. Say we say, all right, well, although I feel like he should have paid me back, but maybe I really didn't need the money that much. Maybe I can just chop this up as just I was just kicked down. I just kicked him down the money. He was in a time of need, and it was just a good deed. So I just gave it to him to help him out, and he really doesn't need to pay me back. If you'd be open enough to hold the situation in that frame of reference, by recontextualizing it, you're not going to feel upset about it. You're not going to be thinking, oh, life didn't go as it was supposed to, so now I have a reason to be mad. You'd be thinking, hey, I actually did a good deed. I gave this guy some money, helped him out in his time of need, and on top of it, I don't even want anything back. What is there to feel bad about that? You should feel good about that. That's only positivity. And obviously, this ain't going to work for everybody. Everybody has to find a contextualization that works with them. Once again, this is part of what I offer. I'm very good at picking up on, the individual I'm talking to. I can get to know somebody very easily, and it's usually not hard to contextualize something that will work for the person themselves. But once again, if you don't want to work with me, it's very easy to do on your own. You know me, or you know you a lot better than I do. So as long as you're open to it, you have to be willing to change your mind if you want to be completely happy. It's very simple. So what would work for you? That's what it comes down to. I think that's about all I can get in here today, guys. Like I said, I will be doing more as to power of the mind, and I don't know if I'm going to go on with part 2 next, or if I'm going to hit the map of the scale of consciousness next, but hopefully this helps somebody today, and I'll see you guys later.